In the past 3-4 months, they have terminated 4-5 people. 2 I know and 2-3 are in pipeline. So even they are thinking of first time also. There are occasions if you miss that, that is also considered. This first time you miss is treated as a you are positive. Because 90% cases people miss only when they are, isn't it or not? So the policies, those that DGCA gives you, okay, 3 months, 3 years, and then you have a license cancelled. But the company can override that. Override in the sense they can be more restrictive. Isn't it or not? So we have to be very careful. फ्यूल से फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा वैसे, ठीक है? फ्यूल पढ़ लें थोड़ा सा, जल्दी पढ़ेंगे और आफ्टर ब्रेक टुडे क्लास टाइम इज 1:30, so be punctual. आपकी क्लास के लिए इंस्ट्रक्टर ने पहले बोला कि 1:30. Next after lunch break the class is at 1:30 only. तो टैंक में हम फ्यूल स्टोर करते हैं या नहीं करते? करते हैं। सप्लाई भी करते होंगे। सप्लाई फ्यूल इन द करेक्ट क्वांटिटी। वाई करेक्ट क्वांटिटी ज्यादा कम दे देंगे तो दिक्कत है?
सर्च हो सकता है।
और भी कुछ बैलेंसिंग का भी कुछ इशू हो सकता है। सर्कुलेट फ्यूल टू कूल द आईडीजी। आईडीजी को तो कूल करना है, वो गर्म दिमाग का आदमी है। व्हाट इज आईडीजी? So integrated drive generator, so it generates the power. So power generation, there is a heat, the chances of heat is more. So we are cooling the IDG also. Bending really, ये तो हर आदमी पूछता होगा कि वो क्वेश्चन में नहीं पूछता. For this enhanced category, fuel is stored in the wings, in the center tanks. Wings have inner and outer tanks. Vent surge tank outboard of the outer tank. क्या होता है? Vent surge tank कुछ होता है क्या?
Yes.
क्या पर्पस क्या?
Fuel expands due heat to 20.
ठीक है, फिर तो ये पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है, इससे मेरे लिए इजी हो गया. There is an overpressure protector in each vent, outer and inner tank, between the center tank and left inner tank. So this is maybe your when you are doing the exterior walk around, you have to check whether all has to be intact. So the enhanced aircraft, we have the center tank, we have a outer tank or inner tank? Inner tank, outer tank, vent tank. This is overpressure protector, the surge tank, vent tank. During the exterior walk around, that cross mark sign has to be checked. So in the SOP, fuel ventilation overpressure disc, intact, right wing, left wing. What MEL says about this? This is for the tank, not this one. This is I want for first one. Vent surge tank, overpressure protector in vent surge tank. MEL 2 are installed. What is written? 0 also. So we can dispatch the aircraft with this also, provided there are certain operational procedures. Usually we did not accept, but in case if the flight is stuck somewhere where the repair facility is not available or some issues are there, then so there is an operational procedure, avoid lateral acceleration in order to reduce the possibility of fuel spill during taxi and climb out. In cruise, check that no fuel spillage occurred. Check that FOB is sufficient to reach the destination. Usable fuel, we have an outer tank, almost 700 kg, 5.5 tons. And center tank, almost 6.5 tons. Main fuel pump system supplies fuel from center tank or inner wing tanks to the engines. Tank pumps, all wing tanks remain on throughout the flight. सारे ऑन रहते हैं, सारे चलते रहते हैं यार कुछ. सेंटर टाइम तो टेक ऑफ में सेंटर टाइम देता है. में क्यों नहीं? और कुछ रीजन?
Gravity.
इंटर टाइम ट्रांसफर वाल्व होता है, तो ये इन्हें हम बंद कर सकते हैं ना? Okay. मैं उल्टा जाना था लग रहा है. Two electrical transfer valves are mounted in each wing to permit fuel transfer from outer to inner tank. So basically, there is a fuel sensors are there. When the fuel is consumed up to a certain levels, then this inter-transfer valve will open. That will be transferred from the outer to inner. ठीक है? Cross feed क्या होता है? अगर one side से बोलते हैं ना, this side to that side. बाकी डायग्राम तो सब पता ही होगा, ये तो कुछ बताने की जरूरत है नहीं. ये सक्शन वाल्व क्या होता है? What is the purpose of this सक्शन वाल्व? इसमें सेंटर टैंक में क्यों नहीं है?
Gravity.
What is the purpose of gravity?
In case of pump failure.
सेंटर टैंक में भी होता है gravity? So basically, if center tank pumps are failed, we have just seen almost 6,400 kg fuel was there. So at the start, if the tank is full, and if it is inoperative or it is not operational, so that much amount of unusable fuel will be there, close to 6 tons. To avoid this, there are different technology. Technology means the feeding system. They have changed the feeding system by applying the jet pumps and other things. For some other aircraft, when we go through, you will see the jet pumps are installed. So the jet pumps will allow some transfer because of potential energy. So instead of this almost 6 tons of fuel is unusable, in those aircraft, close to 2 tons of fuel are unusable. That is the benefit of other engines. Feed system, actually engine fuel feeding system. We will stick to this one only, where we have a suction valves only in the inner wing tanks, not in the center tanks. ये भी पढ़ने की जरूरत है या नहीं? So we have valves, sequence valve there, one pump, center pump ही है ना या कुछ और है? ये भी pump है?
Yes, sir.
All pumps are running at a normal pressure, equal pressure or some different pressure?
Sir, in the tank 30 has been second in the tank at 35 and outer at 30 kgs.
Some different cases. I will not stick to the figures. Okay. So that because of this differential pressure, the supply to the engine will be as per the pressure difference. Isn't it or not? Then there is some logical diagrams are also. They have given a sequence ki how the engine will be fed. So usually the center tank pump will go. Then there is a logic. When the center tank fuel is supplied to the engine, some of the fuel is bypassing and going towards the IDG cooling. After IDG cooling, it is coming to the outer tank. So once the inner cell, the complete cell is full, then this auto logic will stop the center tank pump. Then now the center tank pump will not be running. Now the inner wing tank will start consuming. It will start consuming up to a certain level. There is some value 750. So once this level will come, then the transfer valve from the outer to inner tank. And in case when these are low level, again there is a possibility to open the center tank or not. Center tank को भी use करना है या नहीं करना है? So basically the logic is such a way. First priority is center tank, but during certain stages center tank is inhibited like in takeoff. And when the inner cell is full, then the auto logic will, but the mode selector has to be in auto mode. Isn't it or not? होता है कुछ mode selector या नहीं? Manual कर दिया तो क्या loss है? So what will happen if we put it in manual? So that logic will not work. So it will continuously consuming the fuel from the center tank. At the same time, it will be supplying the fuel to the IDC cooling, and it will be going to the outer tank. And there is a possibility of spillage. और APU के लिए एक different pump है. In case the other pump is not working at low pressure, so there is a separate pump which will be supplied. Tanks empty in the following sequence. First the center tank, second the inner tanks, each inner tank empties around to 750 kg. Outer tank, fuel transfer to the inner tank. This is the sequence. The center tank fuel feed to the engine when the center tank pumps are not stopped by control logic. The inner tanks feed the engine when the center tank pumps are stopped. Center tank pumps control logic. Each center tank pump is stopped until 500 kg of the fuel in associated inner tank fuel has been transferred. So basically there are sensors, fuel level sensors are there. With the help of that sensor, this information will go to the center tank pump. Accordingly, that logic will come. With the mode selected in man position, the center tank pump will run. In manual mode, the center tank push button switch must be selected off when the center tank is empty. Okay. So even there are some circular, there is a one circular issue. There are cases during refueling on ground. The previous flight it was selected as a man because of some reason. So spillage happened. So now there is a guideline issued in the form of a circular that we have to follow these things. Even in the pre-flight cockpit preparation, that procedure is there. Mode selector should be selected to auto. Fuel transfer from outer to inner tank. The transfer valves automatically open when the inner tank fuel reaches the low level, thus enabling the fuel to drain from the outer to inner. When open, the valves are latched open और ये बंद किया जा सकते हैं. Can we close? No. They will automatically close as the next refueling. ये सब पढ़ने की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं. APU feed, a special feed pump supplies fuel for APU. Startup when fuel feed pressure is low due to loss of tank pumps or loss of normal AC electrical supply. This pump normally runs on AC in essentials. Recirculation. Some of the fuel supplied to each engine goes from the high pressure fuel line, that engine, through the IDG heat exchanger. So there is a IDG heat exchanger. This operation ensures, and after using it, this is going to the outer tank. This operation ensures the IDG cooling when the oil temperature is high or when at low engine power. The FADEC controls the fuel return valve. If the outer tank is already full, the fuel overflows to the inner tank through a spill pipe on ground. The fuel recirculation is not inhibited if there is an overflow in the system. So that's why, for this reason, that circular is being used. Same thing over here. If the fuel mode selector push button switch in auto mode. If center tank is feeding, the wing tank will tend to overfill and system automatically select the center tank pump off when the inner tank is full. The wing tank pumps will feed until the engine has used approximately 5 kg of fuel. When the fuel level reaches the under full sensors, the logic circuits then restart the center tanks. So basically there is a logic created that once the center tank pump will start up to a certain level, center tank will automatically close, it will start taking from inner tank. And then up to a certain level, again this logic will start acting when it is consumed 500 kg. So the center tank pump will start. So continuous operation. So all the pumps are on. So there will be a regular consumption. Okay, center tank and then inner tank. And after all, when the inner tank level has reached up to a low level, then the transfer valve will open and the outer tank fuel will be transferred to the inner. In case the fuel mode selector push button switch in man mode. If center tank is feeding, the wing tanks will tend to overfill, but the system does not automatically select the center tank pumps to up. So that continuous process will be on. There is no possibility, no logic will be working. So the inner tank is full, therefore an overflow of the wing tanks can occur on ground if the center tank pumps are not switched on. At that point, mode selector is already in man mode, and if you have not switched off the center tank pump, so what it will do? It will continue supplying. So it will be basically spilling over. During automatic refueling, fuel goes into the same thing. बार-बार पढ़ने से कोई मतलब है नहीं, है? इसकी भी जरूरत नहीं. हाँ, इसमें एक दो चीजें. Approximately refueling time at normal pressure is 17 minutes for wing tanks and 20 minutes for all tanks. Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. हाँ सर हाँ एक ही है सर वो मैं थोड़ा उनको लिमिटेशन पूरा पढ़ाया था वो एक को क्या पढ़ाया सर एक के लिए क्लास में सर वेरी डिफिकल्ट सर हाँ, उसको नियो का भी बुकलेट दे दिया था मैंने हाँ हाँ या हाँ नहीं फ्यूल का थोड़ा तो बताया था मैंने उसको हाँ हाँ तो हाँ ठीक है उसका टेस्ट भी आपके हाँ टेस्ट भी होगा हाँ सर टेस्ट भी है वेरी डिफिकल्ट एक बंदे को पढ़ाने के लिए बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है इंस्ट्रक्टर को ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम है क्या क्या ये बढ़िया लॉजिक है तो ऑटो लॉजिक लगाना पड़ेगा फिर उसमें अपनी तकलीफ नहीं बढ़ाना है तो ये सिस्टम फॉलो करना पड़ेगा फ्यूल क्वांटिटी इंडिकेशन The FQI is a computerized system that transmits the actual total fuel mass as well as the quantity and temperature of the fuel in the tanks. Controls automatic refuel. So this is also very important. Not the question perspective. ठीक है, important बोलने का मतलब जो है वो सीधा दिमाग उधर ही जाता है, कभी-कभी change करना पड़ता है. So basically, whenever to run the engine smoothly, there are certain requirements which controls FADEC. FADEC controls those things. So this is also the quantity, temperature, everything has to be monitored. So there is a FQI, fuel quantity indicator computer is there. पैनल्स तो पता ही होंगे, ठीक है. Fault light, left or right tank pumps में fault light कब आता है? Fault light, amber lights comes on and ECAM message comes on when the delivery pressure drops. It does not come on when off is selected. So basically, if you select it off, it will not be there. Cross feed valve allows both engines to be fed from one wing tank to balance the fuel load, one engine to be fed from both sides to utilize the all fuel in single hours. So cross feed valve on, the valves open and the on push button comes in white, off the valve closed and the push button does not come on. Open light, this green light comes on when the valve is fully open. बाकी ये तो आप लोग को पता ही होगा, मेरे से ज़्यादा पता होगा तो, हाँ? तो कुछ एम्बर ये सब तो दिखाने का मतलब ये एक दो चीज़ें बता रहे हैं, ये तो पता ही होगा. ये लास्ट के 2 डैशेस का मतलब क्या होगा? तो पता ही है. एम्बर लाइन्स आर डिस्प्लेड अक्रॉस द लास्ट 2 digits. F2I computer is operating is degraded now. कुछ करेक्शंस होते हैं? FQI degraded है तो कुछ values are defined, so you refer the FCOM and you get the values. Yes, these are the values. Yes, degraded. ये half amber चलो पता ही है इसको.
ये तो
So green means everything is normal. Last 2 digit decimal means degraded, and box number means not available. Total fuel indication, same thing. The half amber box appears around FOB when the display quantity is not all usable. Intercept transfer valve failure or both center tank transfer valves fail in the closed position or both center tank pumps off or on. An advisory appears in flying phase 2 and 6 when the difference between the feed quantity in 2 wings is greater than 1500 kg The wing inner and outer tank of indication pulses with the highest fuel level. ये थोड़ा important है. कौन से साइड में पल्स करेगा आई? वो क्वेश्चन तो आप लोग को याद ही है, सीधा क्वेश्चन पढ़ के आया हो आप लोग. If the FOV indication displays with two dashes, the QI is in degraded mode. ये values दिया हुआ. क्या हुआ? सारे क्वेश्चन ही है ना. Fuel imbalance. So there is a QRS checklist is there. FOB, there is a company policy as well as a normal flight planning also. On a regular interval, we have to check the fuel on board. This will help you in case your fuel consumption is high, or there is a fuel leakage, or there could be non-availability of your plant, alternate or the destination. So you will take a call accordingly. So, okay, I will be diverting to the alternate. So that's why the fuel on board as a company policy of a regular intervals, maybe 30 minutes or with some waypoints you have to cross check, and then you have to make an entry on the computerized flight plan. So FOB check, complete the FOB plus fuel used with the FOB at departure if the difference is significant, or if the FOB plus the fuel decreases suspected fuel use. So then they have defined the procedure: cross feed valve to on, center tank pump 1 off, center tank pump 2 off. On lighter side, whichever side is lighter, you have to switch off that pump. When fuel is balanced, till the time the fuel is balanced, you will keep it off. When the fuel is balanced, all the fuel pumps to be up, on, and the fuel cross feed valve has to be on. There is no requirement to correct our imbalance until the ECAM fuel advisory is displayed. So basically, once you receive some ECAM advisory, then okay. Second is fuel leak. A fuel leak may be detected if the sum of fuel on board and FU is significantly less than the FOV at engine start or is decreasing. Passenger observes fuel spray from engine, pylon or wing circulate, or the total fuel quantity is decreasing at an abnormal rate. A fuel imbalance is developing, fuel quantity in tank is decreasing too fast, or the fuel flow is excessive and when low, fuel is smelled in the cabin. Destination EFOB turns to amber. Destination EFOB below minimum. So there are a number of reasons they have quoted. So based on this, you may suspect there is a fuel leak. So if visibility permits, leak source may be identified by a visual. Sometimes you are the cabin crew to just check it from the outside, from the windows and all, they can see. There was a occasion somewhere 12 years back, 12 years back, during takeoff, 747 I think, Mumbai airport, there was some assembly problem was there, so fuel was spilling while taxiing. There was a fuel spillage. It was not a spillage. Basically, it was like a spray. Some assembly, there was a damage in some of the assembly. And in the taxi, then it catches fire. Then the ATC saw them, yes, there is a problem. They called immediately, and then the aircraft came back on the bay. Fire agencies were there. So sometimes there is a possibility visually if somebody go and check if there is some leakage or something. So that's why they have written them. If visibility permits, leak source may be identified. Till the time you are on ground, maybe the other aircraft people, those who are besides you, they can observe you. But during taxi, it is very difficult. But still, the moment it catches fire, anybody can identify from the fall. So that was one of the case with our aircraft. It may happen with anybody. I have given you examples because I know from Air India, maybe yes, these are the incidents. There are n number of cases from the other airlines. So, but we cannot discuss the other airline things because it is not ethical. Ethics doesn't permit us. So these are the conditions, some of the conditions where the fuel leak may be suspected. So then, if leak is confirmed, first you have to identify that, then there is no way land is safe. So leak from the engine or pylon confirmed by excessive fuel flow, low N1 or visual check. First lever, put it idle. Engine master affected off, crossfeed as required. If the leak is stopped, crossfeed valve can now be opened to rebalance fuel quantity or to enable use of the fuel from both fuel. Do not restart when it is stopped. So they are not recommending that you restart the affected. If leak from engine pylon not confirmed or leak not located, stop any fuel transfer and then monitor the depletion rate of each inner tank to determine if the leak is from an engine or a wing, or from the center tank or the APU feeding line. Then crossfeed valve maintain close. Crossfeed valve must remain closed to prevent the leak from affecting both sides. Center tank 1 off, center tank 1 2 off. Each engine is fed via the associated inner tank only. So now we are not utilizing any part of the center tank, only the inner tank we are utilizing. Then inner tank fuel quantity will monitor the depletion rate for each inner tank. This is what the reverse has recommended in case of fuel leak. If one inner tank depletes faster than the other, at least 300 kg in less than 30 minutes, so an engine leak may still be suspected. Therefore, thrust lever idle, engine master off, center tank 1 2 on, fuel leak monitor. If leak stops, engine leak confirmed, fuel crossfeed as required, do not restart effectively. If leak continues, wing leak suspected, engine restart. So once you consider that you isolate that whether it is a wing leak or the engine leak. If it is a wing leak, then we can restart the engine. If both inner tanks depletes at a similar rate, leak from center tank or APU feeding line suspected. Fuel smell in cabin, APU off. When fuel quantity in one inner tank is less than 300 kg, then again switch on both the center tank one. For landing, do not use reversers. We are not taking advantage of the reverser for fuel feeding. This is one of the important ones. Both perspective, from the exam perspective plus from the flying perspective also. So in case fuel feed by gravity, so there is some recommendation from the Airbus side that if the max flight level, they have defined the max flight level at what level you can fly. In case, first one, the first criteria is current flight level. If the flight time above flight level 300 is greater than 30 minutes. For example, we were cruising at 370, flight level 370 for 40 minutes. It means we are satisfying the first criteria. We are more than 30 minutes for more than 300. So in that case, we will be same level, current flight level. So 370, we can continue to 370. Second case, less than 30 minutes. If our flight time above 300, we were at 370 for 25 minutes. So we are above 300 but less than 30 minutes. In that case, they have suggested that flight level 300. So we will be descend to flight level 30. Third case, highest of flight level 150 or 7,000 feet above takeoff airport elevation. If flight level 300 is never exceeded or we never reached the level 300. Suppose we reach 250. We were cruising at 250 only. So in that case, our level will be either 15,000 or 7,000. 7,000 plus takeoff airfield elevation. So most of the cases it will be 15,000. Some of the airfields like Leh, Paris, where the elevation itself is 10,800, then it will be more than 17,800. Otherwise, normally the elevation will be less. So if you add that 7,000 also, so it will be less than 150. So that's why 150 level will be most of the time, except for certain airfields, most of the airfields it will be 150. This one is important. Okay. Fuel auto feed fault. This triggers when center tank quantity is greater than 250 and left our right wing tank quantity is less than 5 tons. So basically whenever the center tank is greater than 250 and left or right wing tank is 5 tons. Center tank pumps do not stop after slight extensions or center tank pump level is left. These are the two triggering conditions. Procedures they have given that you can go through when you open the normal procedure, please go through. Some of the limitations. Maximum allowed fuel imbalance. If the tank fuel quantity is full, then the maximum asymmetry could be 500 kg. If it is 3000 kg, then there is a possibility of 1050 kg. If it is 1450 kg, then you can maintain 1450. Outer tanks, maximum asymmetry is 370 kg. Then minimum fuel quantity for takeoff, but provided कोई advisory नहीं आनी चाहिए. Fuel wing low tank low level की advisory या ECAM नहीं आना चाहिए. Then some ECAM advisory. Difference between wing tank fuel quantity is greater than 1500 kg. Fuel management check. If fuel leak is suspected, just follow the procedure. The QRA checklist is there. Fuel leak. Fuel temperature greater than 45 degree in inner cell or 55 degree in outer cell. So, in order to reduce the load, just reduce the load, galley switch has to be off. Fuel temperature lower than -40 in the inner or outer cell. Consider descending to a lower altitude and or increasing max to increase because now we want to increase the temperature. This is the circular I was talking about, that fuel spillage overflow from wind surge tank during refueling. There have been cases of fuel spillage from the wind surge tank on A320, both CFM engine as well as LEAP engine, and A321 aircraft during refueling, and also an isolated event of fuel spillage after landing during aircraft taxi. The fuel spillage from wind surge tank can occur if fuel pumps and the transfer system is left in the following conditions. There is a possibility of fuel spillage under these conditions. Any inner tank or wing tank booster pumps are out. Center tank transfer push button switch is on and center tank mode selector push button switch is on. So if these conditions prevail during refueling, there is a possibility of fuel spillage. Fuel transfer from center tank to the inner tank, wing tank will continue as long as the above conditions remain. This can lead to fuel spillage via wind surge tank. Fuel spillage will be stopped when the center tank mode selector set to auto. Only in auto transfer mode the fuel transfer will be stopped when the inner tank wing tank is full. So in order to avoid the possibility of the fuel spillage during refueling, it is reiterated that A320 family cockpit crew are advised to adhere to FCOM SOP and also ensure the cockpit during refueling. So during refueling, crossfit off, center tank mode selector has to be in auto and center tank pumps to be off. So this is from the fuel. Fire protection भी बचा हुआ है.